So Hoyoverse has just kind of, I guess, revealed that they're making a new game. Now, obviously, this is something that actually happened over in China, and they released this whole kind of stuff to do with recruitment for a new Honkai IP game, which is 2025-03. So this has only came out recently, and it looks like they're looking for some like developers and stuff and game testing people to actually work on this entire project. And well, this has kind of stirred up a little bit of controversy, but also excitement. As you know, Honkai Star has been in a little bit of hot water recently, especially with all the Kastora stuff, and also, you know, with Genshin Impact, everything like that. You know, I feel like it has been on a little bit of a downwards trend in terms of player popularity and players actually being happy with the state of the game, but it seems like they are, you know, gearing up to actually make another game, which we did hear about a little bit in some earlier interviews with some of the developers and everything like that. Now, you can actually see here, you know, obviously half of this is in Chinese, so again, it is kind of hard to understand, but obviously the bits we can understand obviously says traverse and explore a tranquil seaside town and diverse locations, collect destined spirits and build your unique team, train and evolve spirits to join thrilling auto chess battles, use their powers to surf, fly, glide, and uncover hidden secrets. And obviously, they say what they're looking for is people with Unity game engine, client development system, game testing, you know, game server development. So they're looking for pretty much people to work on the game in general. Now, obviously, what this seems like it's going to be is it seems like it's going to be some kind of Pokemon type game. You can see they include a little bit of a graphic here of some of these characters, and it seems like these are going to be very like Pokemon based, and this is where the controversy kind of starts, because people are asking how close to Pokemons are these actually going to be, and could there be a kind of future where Hoyoverse actually gets sued by Nintendo? Obviously, this is a post that actually someone brought up to r/Gacha Gaming, which was quickly shut down, obviously because they're r/Hoyo Gaming. They don't like to talk about anything negative, even if it's hypotheticals for what could happen in the future. And obviously this person says, could Nintendo lawyers bully Hoyo like Power World? And obviously further down, someone says Nintendo doesn't own Monster Collection. If they had to address the fact that the Pokemon wasn't even the first monster collector. But again, I feel like there could be some kind of aspects to the game, because we don't have enough information on this game as a whole yet, that, you know, maybe Nintendo could actually go in on. Now, obviously, you know, these people know nothing. The people in the comments down here know nothing about the actual game itself. All they know is as much information as we do in, you know, in the case of this like poster. So again, maybe there's some features in there that might be a little bit closer, because already, you know, this kind of idea of game does sound a little bit close to some of the Pokemon games, which could, you know, spark a little bit of trouble between, you know, Nintendo and Hoyo. And obviously, I don't really know if that's going to happen or not, because obviously a lot of even if we go back to Genshin Impact and everything like that, there has been kind of paused talks on like the Nintendo Switch version. I don't think we're going to see the Genshin Nintendo Switch version ever. I feel like, you know, maybe it'll come out on the Switch 2 at some point, but honestly, I feel like Genshin might not even be, you know, fully around then even more. Well, I don't think it's not going to be like not fully around, but you get what I mean. The kind of popularity for it's going to die off, and I feel like Nintendo just aren't going to see the worth in adding it to the Switch 2. But again, it feels like, you know, they haven't really had a little bit of a talk in a while. Now, obviously, I don't know anything about the internal workings of Hoyoverse or anything like that, so maybe they have been, you know, talking about this kind of stuff and negotiating, but it seems like, you know, they are trying to kind of go into that separate market of other stuff, and we've seen Hoyoverse do this quite a bit. Obviously, they started off with Genshin Impact, going into the whole open world aspect of stuff. They, you know, kind of tackled all of that, the Zelda type game, and they made it like a little bit multiplayer and added the gacha system. Kind of switched it up a little bit, but let's be real, they kind of based that all around Zelda. Then we got Honkai Star, where they kind of go into the kind of turn-based stuff, which again was really great. And, you know, they took a lot of stuff from other games and, you know, kind of had a little bit of inspiration, which again is totally fine. And well, it seems like Hoyo are just dipping their toes into pretty much everything they can possible. Zenless Zone Zero, again, I don't really know how to describe that game, but again, it was something a little bit different, and they're like tapping into a kind of different audience. And the same goes for this game and some of the future projects that Hoyoverse has in the in the future, because again, they're trying to hit every single genre they possibly can to keep you constantly playing Hoyoverse games. That is their goal at the end of the day, and it seems like this is very clear, especially with this new kind of announcement / recruitment kind of thing that has come out. You know, it's very clear that Hoyoverse want to create this ecosystem of a lot of gacha games that you can play, but it's only Hoyoverse, and you can only kind of do stuff with Hoyoverse. Now, I don't know if they're only going to do gacha games, or if they're going to switch to maybe doing some actual, like, normal games as well. that don't have any kind of gacha systems. Maybe they have like some skin systems or something. But honestly, it would be really cool to see them actually tackle something like that, because again, I don't think I've seen anything like that really, apart from maybe some of the earlier games. But most of them have been like live service gacha stuff, which is again, it's totally fine for the company to keep pursuing that because it is working. But honestly, it would be cool if they do want to tap into some of those games to see what they can do with like an actual fully fledged game. You know, obviously I'm not like asking it to be like the next Elden Ring, but you know, I expect it to be pretty good, seeing as the amount of money and kind of talent Hoyoverse has whenever it comes to creating these games. Because let's be real, what Honkai and not Honkai, what Hoyoverse does well is they start off games very well. You know, they know how to do a release, they know how to get people interested for the start, and then once they have you kind of hooked for the first couple versions or so, then you know the updates start falling off a little bit because they're not very good at maintaining it and keeping it, you know, good. But for the first kind of like impact of it, honestly, they're really good, and that probably could help them in terms of releasing a fully fledged game. Now, I don't know if this one's going to include gacha systems or not. Maybe with all this talk about me saying, well, yeah, will they make other games without gacha systems? Maybe this one will have it. I'm not sure. I haven't really, you know, looked into it any further because again, this is pretty much the only information we have at the moment. But again, it does seem like Hoyoverse is trying to expand quite a bit, and they're also expanding in terms of their offices over in Shanghai and stuff. If you guys haven't seen, they actually made plans to create like an entire Hoyoverse city, which I thought was pretty cool, and it's a very cool addition to that kind of stuff because again, they're making like buildings and everything like that, which again could be a very interesting feature to the Shanghai city. And obviously it kind of consolidates like Hoyoverse's kind of I guess not allegiance but solidarity with the Chinese kind of sphere, because again, we know that they did move out to Singapore at one point, obviously due to some restrictions and stuff with their game, but it seems like, you know, they are working with Shanghai and China in general to kind of get back there and have more offices over there, which again could be really, really great to see. Now, obviously, yeah, I don't really know in terms of the Nintendo stuff what's going to happen with that. I feel like there is a possible grounds for them to kind of take a little bit of action, or at least, you know, maybe not take action. Like, I don't know if they're entirely going to, you know, like straight up sue them. I don't think they're going to like, you know, do a lawsuit, but I feel like maybe Nintendo might just, you know, phone up the developers and be like, hey, you know, I saw that new game you're making. Just make sure you don't do any of this or that or this, else something bad might happen. You know, they might kind of almost, I guess, threaten them, not in like a kind of violent way, but just kind of like, you know, be like, hey, you know, just make sure you don't do this, else we will come after you. I feel like there might be a little bit of kind of push and sway between that, because again, you know, it's nothing like legal to the point where it's like you have to legally prove that they're actually copying, but it is like to the point where Nintendo is such a big company. Obviously, Hoyoverse is still a massive company too, but Nintendo is such a big company, you know, they can just be like, hey, don't do this, else, you know, something bad might happen. And obviously, Hoyoverse can have choose to, you know, go like, screw you guys, we're going to do it anyways. Or they can be like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll just like miss out some of the other stuff that we've included in our game. But again, it's very interesting to see, and obviously this is probably going to be something for the future to kind of see what happens. Obviously, they've been really good at creating mascot type characters with the bang boos and everything like that, so hopefully we do see a little bit more, you know, about this game, and, you know, a little bit more information so that we can have a proper debate about, you know, whether Nintendo could get involved and what this overall game could be like in the future. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, don't forget to go to Gamer Subs. Use my code Kaza. Oh my god, I was tumbling over my words there. Oh my god, I can barely speak. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video before I stop speaking at all. Bye bye.